and welcome to Bayways, a platform for African youth to build Africa while developing themselves. I'm your host, Happiness Russell, and I'll be leading this conversation today. Let me first start by apologizing for the late coming. We are experiencing some technical glitches, so please bear with us. I'm not here alone. I have my beautiful co-host Takatso, and we also have a guest. I'm actually excited because I've been looking forward to the show since November. This is our very first episode of our festive special. It is the Girl Chat. So please grab your cup of coffee or your glass of wine, call a friend, and let's do this thing. Let's vent. Basically, this episode is for women all over the country, women all over Africa to come together and have a conversation about things that actually bother us without censoring anything. Before I go any deep, hello Takatso, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you, my darling?
I'm good. You're looking all pretty.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, our guest just disappeared. I don't know where she went to.
Before she comes in, happiness loves happiness, guys. Happiness, happiness. Hi, guys. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share the page, guys. We need your subscriptions. We need your views. So yeah, do share. Go on to YouTube, Bold Moves Radio. We all there with all Bold Moves Radio programs. They're all there. So please do subscribe, watch here and there, and yeah, share the page. Thank you.
Thank you, Takatso. I always forget that, but that's your job, me. Hello, welcome.
Love it. We have a guest.
Good.
Guys, so I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you about our beautiful guest. We have a beautiful guest. Hi, dearest guest. Can you introduce yourself so that you can have your name and everything that's all about you, darling?
Good evening, everyone. Okay, they say I'm a beautiful guest, so I guess I'm a beautiful guest.
honey.
Okay, by the way, Taro Lomashahomu, and by profession, Honorable Taro Lomashahomu. So I'm a certified chemist.
Yes.
And currently I'm doing my master's in chemistry.
Yes.
What else about me? I'm a fun person.
Everything. We need everything, darling. Continue.
All right. So
I'm going to apologize. Our main host has technical problems, so there's going to be glitches here and there. I'll be coming in, and have also be, so please do excuse us for that. We're going to fix it though. Over to you, Happiness.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, we are in the middle of fixing the glitches, so please bear with us. In the meantime, please share the live airing, share it on Facebook, share it on your WhatsApp, call a friend. Like, we really need to have this conversation. And we are also doing the special thing right now, where our audience or listeners can actually request to join in this live and have this conversation with us live. So if you have a request, just drop it down there in the comment section, and we'll send you the link to join us here in the house. Guest number 2, we're expecting guest number 2. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it because of unforeseen circumstances. She sent her apologies, but yeah, She sent her story, but before I get to her story, I just want to say we are still within the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. This is an international campaign that runs from the 25th till the 10th of December to fight against gender-based violence. I think before we go on, we're just gonna try to fix the glitches. Let's just go on a small ad break and we'll be back. We'll be back.
While we're still waiting for our main host to join us, I just wanted to remind you guys to share, to share the live, and maybe and bring in your friend, guys. We're gonna have a mental talk. We're gonna have a girl chat. Everything girl, like everything girly. We'll be talking about that. So do bring in your friends. Also, we said that today we'll be giving you guys, the audience, the opportunity to join into our live stream, share your thoughts, and so jot down your thoughts, jot down your questions, anything that you want us to shed light on, anything you want us to talk about regarding mental health, regarding the girls chat, regarding basically every other thing. If you watched last week's show, we did say we'll be talking about things such as abortions, we'll be talking safe sex, we'll be talking we'll basically be talking about uncomfortable topics that we are afraid of bringing to light during the people, like in public. So today we'll be just doing that. So do gather all your thoughts, gather all your questions, and comment on, guys, comment. And then if you'd like to be here, do tell us in the comments that you'd like to join us on the live, and then we'll grant you that opportunity. Welcome back, Happiness.
Thank you. Let me apologize again to our audience and listeners. We are experiencing technical glitches, but we are in the middle of fixing it. So please bear with us and thank you. So I was still saying that we are in the middle of we are within the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, which is an international campaign that runs from the 25th of November till the 10th of December every year, in order to fight against gender-based violence. And according to Stats SA, about 25% to 40% of South African women have experienced abuse, sexual or physical abuse caused by the. Before we get to this one, I just want to know from you guys, do you think we are doing enough to campaign? Like, do you think us as South African women, are we doing enough to participate in the campaign? Perhaps I'll just start with you.
We're doing more than enough, guys. There's no other way of campaigning than what we've been doing all along. We've been campaigning from the 1st of January to the 31st. We're always campaigning. I think I came across tweets from Asia and from the USA. They were even talking about the rates Jagamo South Africa, like the abuse rates Jagamo South Africa. So guys, it's huge. I can say that we're putting out awareness out there, but we're definitely watering a rock, because it's like, I feel like each time we campaign, we encourage them to do these things instead of them reducing. So I don't know what else we can do from here. I honestly don't know.
Tarolo, do you think we are participating enough in the 16 days of activism campaign?
Her mic is muted.
Oh, sorry about that. I was saying, I think we're doing the best that we can, because you'll see people are tweeting about it, others are posting it on their statuses. And then, honestly speaking, right now, I don't think there's anything that we're doing that's helping, because we are trying our best, but then still the stats are going high and high every day. And I think it's not our fault anymore, because we are trying, I feel like right now it's all about the perpetrators. It's not about us anymore, because we tried our best and we are still trying every day, but then still talking, posting, striking, it's not helping. The stats are going high every day.
I feel like we're always targeting the victims instead of directly focusing on the perpetrators. Like every day we'll be telling girls, so when you go out, don't do this. When you're in your Uber, leave your hair behind. Go with a nail polish so that you can drop it in your drink to see if it has been spiked. Like, don't stay with it. Like, it's always don't stop. And as much as we can try by all means to avoid those situations, unless we deal with the problem itself, we are not going anywhere until we address the men themselves, until Bona themselves, they address themselves. So you know what, Matilda, what we're doing is actually not okay. Let's change. Then hi Shem, it's still gonna be a long fight.
That's true. Because every time I feel like we keep telling the victim not to do this, not to do that, how to avoid doing this, how to avoid certain things to happen to you. But then still, no matter how no matter all the measures that we're taking as victims, still the stats are still going high. I feel like it's a high time where we need to address the perpetrators and forget about the victim, because it's never our fault. We are trying everything that we can, but then still it's not helping. I think we should address the perpetrators instead of talking to the victim. We need to talk to the perpetrators.
That's true. That's why we need to come in masses for the second episode, which will be the men's conference. So guys will be talking. We are expecting men to come in masses to that conference. So girls, please be there in the comment section. Shoot your questions and be addressed. So there's this interesting one. The stats that I've quoted, 25% to 40% of South African women are abused sexually or physically by their intimate lovers. That is so sad. Like, why are we engaging with people that hate us? Why? We had this conversation before, and it's just, I anyways, we are having a girl chat. We are not talking about gender-based violence. Please make sure to share the live and engage there in the comment section. Whatever question that is addressed here, we want to know how you feel or your opinion about the matter that we're talking about. Make sure you engage there in the comment section. So we were supposed to have our guest, Palesa Mukwena, who sent her apologies. She's also a victim of abuse. She has sent her story. So I'm just going to read it out. I hope my network doesn't sabotage me. Hi, my name is Esther Palesa Mukwena. I am 30 years old, a proud single mother of one baby boy. 2015, I started dating this other toxic guy. I didn't know he was toxic when I started dating him. Through our relationship, I started hearing people telling me about him being a bad guy. I didn't believe all that because I was already in love. 2016, I got pregnant. That's when I got abused emotionally. I started losing my peace in this relationship. Things weren't fine at all. The worst part is I was the one working and he wasn't. I used to support him, buy him clothes in the name of love. I started feeling so sad almost every day. I prayed to God so hard to remove this guy out of my life because he was really ruining my life. Fortunately, God had my prayers and he removed him. He's out of my life and I'm so at peace right now. My ladies, let's not stay because we will update. That is Palesa Mukwena sharing her story. I don't know how am I still here, God.
I think there are more people who still find themselves in Palace's shoes. Guys, that is therapy, okay? As much as it's expensive, as much as whatever, is like, there's nothing that's gonna help you out than therapy. Because one thing about being in a relationship with the person who's abusing you is that there are more chances of you growing more fonder of them than when they are not in your life. Like if boyfriend Yaga right now is the one doing the abuse, I'm gonna keep forgiving. Like, okay, today he's gonna do this, tomorrow he pops back with a bouquet of flowers, and then all is forgiven. Then the following day is something else, and then he comes back and apologizes. So it's just a series of abuse and apologizing and apologizing and apologizing. But I think the advice that I would give people is, if you feel like the vibes are off, please do trust your gut. You can never lie to yourself. Your gut will never tell you anything. If you feel the vibes are off, start looking into it. And do not, guys, the rating 5 stars. Like, if you're gonna be with someone who does not rate you 5 stars, move out. I'm a fan of moving out where you're not being rated 5 stars, because what else are we doing if you're not rating me? So yeah, if the vibes are telling you it's off, 99% of the times the vibes are off. So look into that.
That's true, Shakhato. And the nice thing is I've managed to fix the technical glitches, so I don't think we're gonna be having any problems from now on. Otherwise, I know it will be men. Men will be responsible for this. They'll be trying to sabotage the whole show. But we're still gonna talk. We're still gonna vent. Yes, we are talking about gender-based violence, still under girl chat. So please make sure that you engage there by the comment section. I want to know if you have a story to share. You can throw it down in the comment section. If you have anything, just vent. This is a safe space for you to vent. Takatu, you remember the other day we were talking about the red flags and white flags. Normally,
Yes.
I think Renava side, we normally just choose to overlook the red flags. But truth is, they are there. You can see this person. How is he managing his anger? I mean, by the time he hit 3 months, they cannot pretend to be something else over 3 months, but we still choose to say, "Oh, no, I'm the special one." This person was not wrong because of Dalem said, what makes you think as out there? So it's just another one. I feel like in a way we are also playing a role in this by neglecting over or overlooking the red flags. Tarulo,
And
what do you think
know,
about this? No, you can go on before Tarulo comes in.
okay, I wanted to say, Jorge, we also do this thing of putting ourselves where people don't like us, especially in friendships, guys. I'm telling you, you can live without your friends because some of you, your friends hate you like they hate you. You can tell who your friends hate you, but you still keep yourself in there. It's more when you start forgiving Tahato for the small things without Tahato actually apologizing. You are subjecting yourself to more abuse from legit everyone, because if your friend or Monta today or they can walk over you, or Monta happen tomorrow they can walk over you, trust me, you won't even know when someone is trembling right over you, because already when I was to you just let things slide. So even in your friendships, guys, you see a lot of things where your friends hate you, mara hey, you know, babu base, we just don't understand.
Yes, Tarulo.
Tahato Obolala, something about listening to your gut. Tahato, have you ever been in love?
I have.
You loved someone.
You see, that's the excuse that we come up with, guys. Being in love does not replace senses. If you're gonna subject yourself to trauma, if you're gonna subject yourself to abuse in the name of love, then my darling, you do not rate yourself. Because even if you find yourself only in love, but then that love clouds your judgment, is it really love, guys? Love is clear. Love should be clear. In my head, love should be clear. Actually, in love, I must see the way better than I'm seeing it when I was alone. If I have a partner, I must see life better than when it was when I was alone. So now if I get in here and then my judgment starts leaving me behind, in that I have someone thinking for me, I have someone feeling for me, that's a red flag. You gotta bounce. You have to bounce.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. So I think it's because when people are in love, they mostly use their hearts instead of using their mind. People, when they're in love, they're not thinking. Like they're literally not thinking. And another thing I realized about us ladies is that we don't know how we need to be loved. So when someone portrays their love to us, even if it's not how you want to be loved or how you need to be loved, you just accept anything that someone gives to you. But if you know how you need to be loved, you will know when somebody's giving whatever they're giving to you, you'll realize this is not what I want, and I'm not going to settle for anything less. But the problem is we don't understand what we need and how we need to be loved. I think we should start by understanding ourselves more. We should start by understanding our love language. We should understand how we really respond to certain kind of love that people give to us. So I think it's because we don't know how we need to be loved. So anyhow people love us, we just take it as it is. That's why we ignore red flags. And they are there. There's so many red flags.
Can I just come in there? You see, when it comes to how you want to be loved. Guys, you can never, I promise you, you can never understand how you want to be loved if you do not heal your childhood traumas, because you'll find yourself wanting to be parented by someone who's supposed to just love you. So heal your traumas, guys. Heal your traumas. A lot of people don't, if you look into their love language, you'd understand, don't know, this person is actually suffering from a parental wound and they want me to parent them. And then now I cannot be a parent when I'm supposed to be a partner. I've honestly looked at the love languages that are there, and if you look deeper into them, you'll understand. No, these people are operating from a place of lack, and they need their partner to step in as that absent parent, or as that step, as the parent who will not hate them. So, in understanding yourself better, go through your childhood traumas, go through your childhood wounds, heal those first, and then that is when you'll understand better how you'll be wanting to be loved. Because honestly, half of the time we have a, but you can tell this one, they need a fatherly love, and the boyfriend can't provide it. Then it starts being, no, it's not my love language. So please, before you come with your love languages, because one thing about our generation, we love love languages, Shem. So before you come in with your love languages, make sure you're not operating from a place of hate. Because honestly, your partner cannot mother you, your partner cannot father you if you have not healed those wounds.
That's true. I do agree. Before anything else, one needs to heal. After healing, learn to love yourself. I did say this before on this platform, or before you demand love from the outside, you need to give yourself some love. And the third thing is know your worth. Queen, know your worth. The minute you know your worth, you know you're a gold. You wouldn't want to be treated like a coal. Oh, hell no. So knowing your worth, in as much as people try to make it something else and now they're trying to bash it, I still advise, I'm an advocate there where you need to know your worth. And after knowing your worth, look, you cannot going wrong. And I think a lot of guys are also trying to strip this thing down, pull it down. No other way. It's because they know the power that is within you. Once you know your worth, you know, the other thing that I want to say that I have picked up in Palisa's story, people actually told her the guy is bad, but she still chose, or no, man, I love my man and he wouldn't be bad to me. She overlooked that whole thing. Mara, at least she had a privilege. Okay, your man is like this. Now my advice, before you commit to anybody, do research. Even if they can say it's stalking, please stalk him. You need to know what 24/7. You could be dealing with a serial killer, a serial rapist, no how. So you need to know your person, because they are not trust. He's gonna sell the good side of him to you. So the other things you're gonna find it out from the people, of which they also say, or it's something toxic, but now I tell you, knowing somebody before you commit to them is a way of unfolding that blindfold that blinds us when we are in love. I don't know, but the
Can I add on that?
All right.
I think it's also important that before you know someone, you need to know yourself. Like Takaso said, we have so many childhood traumas that we still haven't dealt with. So when we get in a relationship, we get in with a certain void in us that we need our partner to fill. And that's not their responsibility to fill our void. So I think we need to deal with our childhood traumas, and then we make sure that we love ourselves enough. The truth is, most people don't love themselves. Even if we claim that I love myself, we do those affirmations in the morning. The truth is, deep down, most people, they don't love themselves. Most people, they don't love how they look. They need partners to validate them. So we really need to deal with our childhood traumas, and we also need to learn to love ourselves.
We need to love ourselves. Thank you for that one, Tarolo. You're still having a girl child chat. I'm gonna remind you every 5 minutes, or please share this live stream, because it's very important. If you care about your sister, your friend, your mother, any female child or person. Even it's not only about females, we also need the guys to hear this conversation, because what's the point? I see we have viewers, but the shares are very little. So please make sure to share the live stream while you are watching it. Right now, we are talking about gender-based violence. We have just started. We are experiencing technical glitches, but now I see we are running smoothly. So the other thing is the stat essay is saying the prevalence of violence is greater among less educated women than those with secondary education or higher. So education also plays a role. This is not me, this is that. All right.
I beg to differ. Guys, I just want to share my story. So I was traveling from Nelspruit to home. I was wearing a very huge t-shirt. I was walking with a boy. Guys, I'm a graduate. I have to tell you, I'm a graduate, okay? I'm a graduate. Understand this. So I'm walking with a boy, and then approach a guy. We are approaching a guy. Utamaya with a girl. I promise you, it was around 4:30, and this guy walked straight to me and tried to unzip my pants. Me, a whole graduate, do you understand? A whole graduate. Never mind it. Even ladies who are educated and in relationships, they're still prone to abuse. It doesn't matter your level of education. Because guys, honestly, this thing I hate. It doesn't. It really doesn't. It doesn't choose. You see, especially around August, because around August, Bana ba mo South Africa go just spicing and they react, and then they react in that animal reaction. You'd see a lot of posts where a girl was raped, a girl was killed, whatnot and whatnot. You'd see all the races. You see every this one was educated, but they're still prone to that. It's not about the race. It's not about your education. Is not about your family background. It's not, guys. It happens to everyone. It happens to legit every girl.
No, but Tagat, I don't think you're understanding what that is saying.
I do.
It's understand. Not saying educated women are not being abused. It's just comparing the ones that are less educated, they are prone to abuse more than that.
Even when they say that, I still beg to differ. Guys, I speak to people from all walks of life, and they'll tell you one story. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't. If we're gonna come with that thing, women with less education are more prone to getting abused. We're creating a stigma around women who are abused. Really, we're starting to create a stigma. If this one is this abuse, while they're not educated, you see what's doing? It's now causing more problems in the problem that we have already. Because trust us, one thing about us, there was this video trending where a guy was wearing a fake Air Force. I do not know how they look like. I do not even know how fakes look like. It started as something that was just going on the socials, and then it manifested in real life. They were literally making jokes of it. So we come with this stats and we say for women who are less educated, then now we're gonna go back to the rurals, and it's gonna create a stigma for it. And I'm gonna be afraid to come out in Nakahado who is not educated to come out and say I was abused, because already I have the stigma. I'm not educated. So no, it shouldn't do the steps like that. It's creating another pandemic on its own.
Tahazo, I think I agree with Happiness. You don't really understand what she means. She doesn't say people who are more educated, they are not prone to be abused. Everyone can still. Everyone can
start reaching there. The way that the statement is coming out is saying they literally took a whole study. Guys, it creates a stigma regardless of what they're the moment they bring in statuses, they bring in standards, they bring in everything, it will create a stigma of which in that 28%, they're going to be afraid to come out because already I'm not educated. So the way that they're placing their thing, they're placing their statement in comparison this and that, it's creating stigma. It's already hard to come out as a woman. You are abused. Now imagine coming out and then you part of the statement is prevalence 28% of the women who abuse their illness. It's like, I feel like if they're gonna do the step, 50% of women are abused. Let's leave every other thing out there because it's honestly nothing. It adds to nothing. All it does is it creates stigma. I'm against the statement on itself, the way that they create the states.
Let me explain to you how these stats come about. There are actually stats, like the first one that I've quoted, 25 to 40% of South African women are abused. That's a broad one. So what they do, but they break it down based on observations. But okay, they are employed, babaling unemployed, they are more prone to abuse than babasing employed. Babaling rural areas, they are more, that kind of a thing. The same way, the time we're talking about teenage pregnancy, 11 years, 20 years. That's not because they're trying to create a stigma around 12 years. It's just a thing, okay, this is an observation. We collected the stats and we realized a high number of people or kids that are pregnant by 12 years. So by collecting the stats, there are women in South Africa that are being abused, and they started to identify, okay, what could be the cause? But when there is a high number of women that are prone to abuse, and they are less educated. They are less educated. It doesn't mean it could have been 60%, 40%. We don't know the actual stats. It could have been that. And in my support of their stats, I will let you continue. In my support of their stats, this could be once you're less educated, secondary education, this is high school. So chances are they can't even read. So even post if you're experiencing abuse, call 011. Chances are they're not going to see it. Chances are they don't even have the social media that we are exposed to because they don't understand what is going on. The other thing, poverty, it's a very big factor when it comes to gender-based violence. Relationships because so they'd rather settle for what they're given, and then that's just it. Going out, it will mean homeless, it's just what that ST has observed. I don't think they were honestly trying to create a stigma. It is just an observation.
I still beg to differ. Guys, your feelings, guys, you do not need a poster to know your feelings. You do not need to be able to read. You don't have to, you can tell I'm hungry without reading you need a burger, you're hungry. So I'm saying the ways that SA break the stats is creating stigma.
Okay, but my
can
thing
pass on
is,
it because we're not gonna agree, and I can drag it for like an hour.
But that's being ridiculous, honestly. My thing is, also they don't know. They don't know about gender-based is actually a human rights. I don't think about less educated people. They're not talking about Panama ticketing to high school. They're not talking about and we know those people. We are not going to act like we don't know. There's also a comment from the comment section from Katlego Brian Ari. The stats are gathered to pinpoint the root of the problem, not stigma. If we know that 5 out of 10 women are abused because they don't have secondary education, it will be easier to help them. I think we are thinking the same, I actually agree. But like you said, we're not going to just dwell on this issue. My thing, the reason why I raised the thing is raise the stats is because I want to know how do we then reach out to these less educated people? How do we, in our personal spaces, campaign, help them by coming out, help them to come out of those situations that they are in?
Like, one thing I've realized about South Africa, we have a problem of classism. One thing that's making our lives difficult in South Africa, we have a problem of classism. Guys, I promise you, if you're gonna say, and now we're going to an area go Sprite linked because they are less educated. Guys, you're not gonna have anyone come there because they are all ashamed of who we are less educated. The problem is not whether they have money or they are less educated or they are what, guys. The problem is with the men themselves. We all, guys, everyone knows abuse when they feel it. You know, if someone you do not need to have a whole breakdown of it. You will know what Happiness said this to me and it didn't treat me well. And that's when you go report, whether you have education or not. People can tell when they are being abused. That is why when you grow up, you start realizing, oh no, actually I was abused here. When you start looking deeper into it. So no, it's not about lack of education. It's not about lack of education. It's not.
How did you realize or later in life that you were actually being abused? I think it's exposure to education, your experiences as well. It's not just what I get to make sense of what happened when I was 10 years.
Exactly there. That's your teacher experience. You do not need Happiness coming down to your house and for you being abused. Experience is gonna tell you for you are being abused. That's why I'm against this breaking down now for 5% of women are educated. So if they're educated, we don't go out and reach out to them. You see, it's creating more problems for all they're educated. So they have exposure to information. Why are they just sitting down? Then now we just relax. Honestly, this thing of the class, South Africans are suffering from classism. If we can heal as a country from this classism thing, we're gonna go forward.
I don't think, okay, Tahato, I understand your point, ne? And then I'm gonna share how I understand this whole education thing. Yes. I like visiting like the confession pages, and there are a couple of people who confesses. It's not like they don't know they're being abused. They know they're being abused. There was a certain lady who confessed that their boyfriend is so abusive, like he does things to her, but she can't move out of the relationship because if she has to move, she doesn't have a plan. What am I gonna do if I move in this relationship? Because he takes care of me, he do things for me. So if I move, it means I'll have to start from the scratch and I have no idea what I'm gonna do because she's unemployed, she doesn't have any other income or a place to move to. So I think that's where part of education might come in. And another part of education is, there's so many women who doesn't understand sexual consent. And that's another part of education. If you understand, so many women are being sexually abused, but they're not realizing that it's a sexual abuse because they don't understand what does consent really mean.
100%.
Okay, I'm gonna use Karabo. Karabo, forgive me. Kidulal Karabo just does not apply to Karabo in any way. Kidulal Karabo, and then I'm unemployed. I cannot any source of income. I'm deep in poverty. Kidulal Karabo. Karabo is abusing me, and I cannot provide for myself. You go report. Obviously, when you go file a report, they're gonna ask you why you still there, sort of stuff like that. Then they take you out of there. Happiness, she can provide for herself, and she's still gonna be subjected to abuse. Do you see where the problem is? I feel like if we're gonna break down the steps like that, it should be breaking down the steps of the perpetrators like that. There's men who provide, they are like this. Men who do this, they are like this. Guys, I promise you, these women know when they're being abused, even with consent. If you know who you do not want to have sex and someone forces you, you're gonna feel hurt inside. That's how you know who this thing didn't pattern me well. Even if they don't know who it's consent, They just don't have the fleshy words for it. They just don't have the definitive words for them. But they do know for their abused. So what, Twana, even if we find them, we teach them for their being abused, and it's still going to be the same person. What we're doing with this is we're not solving the problem at all. We are not. We are just putting it out there. It is. Yeah. But we're not doing anything. Because we teach those women. More women with education are still going to find the same men who's still going to abuse them. There are women who are educated. They can provide for themselves. He's still abusive. So the breaking down honestly does not help anyone with anything. We should be, I said in the first airing, the problem is with them and we are addressing the wrong people. Because women know when they're being abused. They know the steps to take when they're being abused. But it's still the same person. Now I can go and better myself out of the abuse. But I'm still gonna find the very same person. Another person is gonna find the same person who was abusing me. So until this one man I change, we're still gonna have 50% of women who are being abused by one man. That's why I'm against this state. I'm saying we're not going to agree on this, and I can drag it until
no. But then you see, you're refusing to see the point because you want to be right. You want to drag it. The thing is, we're trying to want to be like,
we're not going to agree on this. Our viewpoints are not aligning, and they are not going to
allow me to educate you. Then allow me to educate you. You are saying we are not gonna find.
Now I know what I'm offended when you say you're educating me. You're not educating me. I'm telling you, on this breaking down of the state, we are not going to agree. Because even if look at the little 10 guys, I'm still standing where I am standing, whether I'm right or I am wrong. This is my viewpoint. So in educating me, you're not doing anything. I'm telling you now, we are not going to agree on the breaking down of states. So can we move from that?
We don't have to agree on anything. We just need to address the issue and then work on that. You don't really have to agree.
We address it, and if we're gonna keep bringing up just that way, we're gonna go back and back and back and back.
I think also saying the breaking down of stats actually help us to identify the root of the problem. My support with the stats about education and all that, they're trying to encourage people to get educated. It doesn't mean when you're more educated, you are not going to get abused, but you're less likely to get abused. And this also takes me to our next bulletin of Annelum Dota. She was sharing her views about the trending story I get out of my effing car. She said, when she saw the video, she said, Lena, there was the man who told her, get out of my effing house. And she packed her bags and left because she can afford to go stay wherever. So I want to know, Tara, how did you feel when you saw that video for the first time?
Okay, that video was actually very sad because that lady, they told her to get out of the car. But instead of her taking her stuff and leave, she's apologizing. I don't really know what she did, but then she's apologizing. And then she moved from one seat to the other, but then they say, get out. So according to me, it said, I don't know where they were at that point. Maybe the lady understood that if I get out of this car, maybe I won't be able to request an Uber to take me home, or I don't know what was happening. But then there's actually something that was happening that made the lady not to move out of the car. But if it was someone who knows, I can't be treated like this. If somebody says, it doesn't matter how wrong I was, it doesn't matter what I did, there's no way I will let anyone treat me like this. There's always a better way of solving things, and there's always a better way of doing things. So that person, when they say, get out of my car, if I know, I will request an Uber and go home, or I can call a friend to come and fetch me and go home. But I don't know why the lady didn't get out of the car. But basically, according to my opinion, I think it's because she didn't have a backup plan. That's why she apologized and insisted on sitting in the car.
And your views when you saw the video for the first time, Takatso?
I love that you brought Annel's story into this. because it takes me back to Tabenya for we are addressing the wrong people. Anele actually said she used to be with someone who would tell her such words to get out of her, and then one day she decided to just get out. So I think it doesn't even bring Tabaya for we don't know. Honestly, we do not know if the girl had money. It's just a stigma around city girls, so they usually don't have money. So the girl could have had money, but I think she felt like she was more safer in the car than outside. Come on, at night when she was wearing like that, because he also had the rape pandemic arising. So her apologizing, I think she was just saying for it. I feel safer with you here. Like as much as you than leaving her wherever. Besides having a backup plan, guys, South Africa is actually a
I think Takhatso is
dangerous country for a woman.
Oh, okay. All right. It's 8:01, and we are 1 hour in our conversation about gender-based violence and mental health. This is a girl chat, so invite a friend and let's vent. Please make sure to share the live streaming and engage in the comment section. I just want to say, I'm gonna read a couple of comments from the comment section. The first one coming from Prudence: our classification of things is everywhere and makes things understandable. Because if we generalize, then we will have no solutions or order. Then there's also Maslodi saying, I think you don't understand statistics. To deny that uneducated women experience more abuse is just you being in denial. It's the same as saying Limpopo and Eastern Cape shouldn't be given more attention regarding basic education because we shouldn't leave out those in Gauteng. That's very ignorant. So those are the few stats. Nari, I think Nari is here for you, Tarol Arlamponana. And yeah, please make sure you engage about gender-based violence, about mental health, but we're still moving on with gender-based violence. I want to also come to our next point. Yeah, situations to avoid. We've already spoke a bit about things, the red flags, or the minute you see motoronally the anger issues, you should just run balek. So I want to know from you guys, what are the situations to avoid or a victim of gender-based violence? I'll start with you, Tarolo.
There's something I've realized about. Okay, so I have to go back a bit about the less educated thing there. When we get married back there at the village, there's a certain point where they sit a woman down and they tell you about all the marriage stuff, what is required of you as a woman. And one of the things they like to say to us is that mosadi ha roba le ka diaparo. So it means as a woman, you don't go to bed wearing clothes, because they give us this mentality that it's a man's right to your body when he married you. So I think, this whole thing of the states, I think I agree with it, because if that's something that like that happens, maybe you are not even in the mood at that time. You just have to give in because you are a wife and that's required of you. Your husband is entitled to your body. I think it's because of what we have been taught. And mostly it's those grannies, those ones who have been there, who didn't go to school. They still have the mentality that a man has authority over your body as long as he married you. And they educate that to us. If I didn't go to school, I won't actually disagree with them because they're old enough, they know better than me. I will agree with them and I will do that. Even if I feel like today I'm not in the mood, my husband comes home, I'll just have to give in because that's what I've been taught. But at this moment, if they tell me that, I'm not going to agree. I'm not going to agree. I understand it's my right to do this. It doesn't matter whether you married me or not. If I don't consent to it, you're not supposed to have it. So we need to consent to it, both of us. So this whole thing of education, I think it's really important. We really need to understand how things are.
That's true. Takhatso?
I really hate talking about this. I really do hate talking about this. Guys, there's actually no situation where you can avoid, honestly. Adio. And what Tarulo has said, guys, I'm gonna tell you to stop associating yourself with people who don't like you. If your partner likes you, they're gonna treat you 5-star. Do you understand? If you are with people who like you, they're not gonna put you in a situation where you shouldn't be in. So get married, date people who like you, guys. They will understand when you say no, you say no. They will understand when you say you like this, you like this. You don't like this, you do not. So the mistake that we make is they don't like us. Otherwise, there's no situation, guys. And like living in South Africa, the moment you step out of your door, you're already in a situation you should avoid. Because I did tell you guys, for now, I was walking on the street, not even in a crop top. So I was wearing a huge t-shirt and they still just tried to take my zip pants down. So it really doesn't matter, guys. It really doesn't matter. As long as we keep telling the girls, don't do this, don't do that, they're still gonna find someone who nothing has changed on them. So it's like if we're gonna talk about situations, it should be involving men. They educate themselves about situations. Because honestly, guys, come and get educated, but as long as we leave the men behind, we're still gonna have stats that are the same. The problem we do, the mistake that we do is we treat gender-based violence just like any other.
I think she is experiencing network glitches, but I do agree with her. We need to address perpetrators more and focus less on, not even focus less, but I think we as women are trying so much to avoid situations as far as I know. But I also want to emphasize that research is very important. If somebody has a history of abusing women, why would you still be with that person? So make sure to do your research. And the other one that in defending them. No, I pushed him, I provoked him. It's because he was abused as a child. Like, women are very good at creating defenses for these men that are abusing them. Check a lot of abuse stories. No, the first time I thought he said it's a mistake. Look, the minute it can never be a mistake. There's something wrong with this person. This person needs to seek help because the damage of it, if self, help because you need to heal. So I highly encourage research. Please make sure, or before you commit to anybody, research about them. And the other
Can
thing,
I also add on that, on the point that we are actually defending these people? I'm actually guilty of that. I haven't shared my story, so let me just share it. In 2018, I almost got raped by a man that I once loved, and I thought he loved me. So what happened is I dated this guy in 2016, and then we broke up in 2017. So, but then still we kept contact. Sometimes we'll talk. Sometimes we'll come to my room, and then sometimes I'll come to his room. So there was a certain day where he came to borrow my laptop, and I just gave him my laptop and my headset. Then he was like, he will bring them back. But then when he brought them back, he only brought back the laptop. So I kept asking him to bring my headset, but then he didn't. So one day I decided that, you know what, let me just go and get my headset. So when I got there, he was not around. I found the roommate. And then the roommate was like, no, he's downstairs. Let me go get him for you. Maybe me, I'm getting comfortable. I'm just chilling. And then I'm waiting for them to come back because I was like, I'm not going without my headset today. So they come back. I don't know what they discussed on the way. But then when they get in a room, The roommate came in and then he took something and then he left. But on his way out, he locked the door. So in my mind, I was like, oh, why is he locking the door? Then he was like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, it's fine. Can I have my headset? And then he was like, I don't know where they are. And I was like, it's fine. Seems like you don't want to bring them back. It's okay. Can you please open the door so I can leave? He was like, I don't have the keys. It's like your roommate locked the door knowing very well you don't have the keys. What's going on? I was like, okay, let me look for my kids. But I realized that he's not looking for the kids. And suddenly he's coming close to me. You know, he's a very, he's a person who loves joke. And I thought maybe, wait, he's just kidding. Later on, I realized this person, he's serious, like he's coming so close. And then now the whole situation was uncomfortable. Then at first I was laughing. I was like, dude, relax. What are you doing? Because I never thought he would do something like this. But when I realized that he was serious, I got scared, but then he didn't care. I think that day, the thing that saved me, it was a jean that I was wearing. You know, those jeans that doesn't have a zip. I don't know what we call them. It doesn't have a zip, it doesn't have anything. And when you take it off, you need someone to pull the legs for you. So you need a help to take it off. So that guy, he actually pushed me on a bed and he was trying to take off my trouser. And I realized he's serious about this. And I tried fighting him, like I fought. And then I realized he's not stopping. I started begging him, please stop doing this. It's not funny anymore. But then he wasn't saying anything or communicating. Then I got scared and I started crying, begging him to stop, but he didn't. He kept on trying to pull my jean down. But then the jean was like, I'm not going anywhere. So fine. At some point, I was like, you know what? Let me scream. The windows were open. I was like, let me scream. Maybe someone will hear me. That's when I started screaming. Then I started screaming. Then he stopped. And then after that, he was like, I'm so sorry, Tarlo. I don't know what got into me and all that. So I was crying at the time. I was like, you know what? Just open the door so I can leave. I don't want to say anything to you. And then he was like, please don't report me. I'm so sorry. It will never happen again. I wasn't in the right mind and all that. And I was like, I don't want to hear anything. Just open the door so I can leave. Then he was like, I'm going to open the door if you keep quiet. Imagine that somebody traumatizing you now, that forcing you to keep quiet, to wipe your tears. Then I had to keep quiet. Then I had to wipe my tears. And I was like, I'm not going to report you. It's fine. He opened the door. Immediately opened the door. Started crying again. And there were people on the corridor. I was like, are you okay? I didn't want to talk to anyone. I went to my room and I got there and I cried and I enjoyed crying and it was enough. Later on, he came with a guy friend of his. And then they came there to apologize. It's like, Taro, I'm really sorry for this. I wasn't thinking straight. You know, all those kind of excuses he did. But the problem is, you know, when you love someone and you really care about someone, I literally took his apology and I didn't do anything about it. Last year, just woke up in the morning, there's WhatsApp status flourishing around that he raped. I literally felt guilty of not doing anything for the first time when he tried to rape me. I felt so guilty about that. And then, but yeah, that was too late. I couldn't do anything. He raped. Even if I reported him, I'm not sure if he would have raped or not. But then, yeah.
That's a scary one. It's always people that are very close to us. It's either our friends, family members, or our intimate lovers. It's never, or it's barely strangers. It's really sad. So I just want to know regarding attempted rape, is it something that you can actually report to the police station or they only take rape cases?
No, you can report it. It's an attempted rape and it's an offense and you can go to jail for a long time for that. I just decided not to report him because at first I thought maybe people will think I'm a bitter ex or maybe people might not believe me since it didn't happen. So there were so many things that came into my mind and I just decided not to report it.
Okay, and I hear that you also had to deal with the guilt of not reporting it. How did you deal with it, or you still haven't dealt with it yet?
I think somehow I still feel guilty, because I think if I had reported him or done something about it, I could have avoided him raping someone like this year. It was actually this year.
But is it too late, given that it's the residents of the same institution? Is it too late to come out and say, you know what, this guy actually tried to do something like this back in the year? So yeah, I can even stand in as a witness or something that could clear guilt, maybe.
I don't think it's too late, but then, and I also thought of doing that, just that I didn't know how and where to start. And another thing that actually discouraged me is that I don't know where the case actually went, because the guy is always posting on Facebook. So I'm asking myself what happened, because I remember we had to strike there at the court that they should deny him bail. And at first they did, but then he got bail, so he's out. I'm not sure if the case is still ongoing or what was the outcome. So I don't know. I never really dig deep into that. But then if maybe I should actually consider doing that. And if the trial is still ongoing, maybe I should also consider testifying. I'll look into that.
That's actually a good idea. You are still watching or listening to Bay Waves, and we are having a girl chat. Right now, we're still talking about gender-based violence. I'm your host, Happiness Ranto, co-hosted by Takhatso Monage. We also have our amazing and beautiful guest, Taro Lomasha Homu. There's comments from the comment section. Lotisi Mokoba are, like I mentioned last night, Happiness Ranto, the circle of friends you find yourself in show you exactly what kind of conversations they have. Their intentions towards you will be visible one way or the other. Why would the friend lock up the door without any motive? In today, attempted rape is schedule 6, meaning that it'll be plus or minus 10 years imprisonment. There's also another one. So Tarolo, if we were to say something to the younger you, given your experience, what would you say?
I think I would say value yourself. Yeah, I think at that time I actually didn't value myself. I didn't actually even think about me more. I was thinking about him because I knew if I reported him, first of all, they were gonna kick him out of rest, and then you also get excluded at school. So I was also thinking of those things. I think I was thinking of him more than I was thinking about me. So that was me less valuing myself.
I just want to
thank
say
you for that
something.
one. Yes.
To Carol and anyone who experienced it, guys, it was not your fault in any way. It was not your fault that you were in that situation, in that space, because it happened to Tarot Law. And as much as she couldn't do anything, it happened to yet another girl by the same person. So again, it's never the victim's fault, guys. Like, I just want to put it out there, it's never the victim's fault. Let's talk to the guys. And rape is so hard to prove. It's really hard to prove. So if I think between those two, I think you can have rape kids that are stored for until you are ready to go and report. So do find out at your nearest hospital if they can do that for you too, so that later on when you feel like you want to report, you can go back and pull those files out. But honestly, guys, it's never your fault. It's never, ever your fault.
That's true, Takhatso. It's never the victim's fault. Also, one of the overlooked contributing factors to this pandemic is self-confidence. You end up giving somebody a lot of power because you don't believe in the power that is stored within yourself. You know, I was sharing a live video the other day about how I've lost my confidence over the years, and I've seen people come out sharing their stories, and this ultimately affects your mental health, which then moves us to this whole conversation of mental health. How can one become more confident? I just need to know, knowing you personally, the both of you personally, I can say you guys are confident. So I want to know how can one become more confident? I'll start with you, Tarot.
Honey, you fake it until
Oh.
you make it. You fake it until you make it. Honestly, guys, I have to be honest with you in all my honesty. Ke ba honest. Mo e leng gore Modimo a ka se ntse ke le godimo for this honesty. Ke tlo mo kwatela. Guys, half of the time I do not feel confident. I just have to tell you this. I have to psych myself up to feel confident. After the incident, Double Jean Festival with that guy, I didn't want to leave my house. Every now and even here, I go to work, then I come back. You'll never find me outside. But then you just have to psych yourself. You have to. If when you do not validate yourself in any way, if you don't find things or you don't find words that when are you gonna validate yourself with, nobody's gonna come save you guys. Like literally no one. We can give you all the motivation, we can share all the affirmations, we can do this, we can throw the love reactions on your pictures, but until when now you are the girl, you are a hot girl, you are a city girl, no one is gonna come and tell you you are a city girl. So even if you do not feel comfortable, you must fake it until you make it. And like faking it, you eventually just get into it. Because to say, but because you're already used to being confident, you're just gonna step into it. That's the advice that I can give. Otherwise, I'm suffering from social anxiety, so you know the vibes.
Well, I think you need to know what you're capable of. If you know yourself and you know I can do this, it gives you that that confidence that, you know what, I'm capable, I'm gonna do it. One thing about me, I'm very confident. Like I'm so confident. Starting from when I look at myself in the mirror, I take myself videos, I'll be like, oh damn girl, look at you. Bona, there's no one you look like I know how I look like. I like what I see. Face, body curling, everything. And the way I'm so confident, I'm at a point where even if I do something wrong, I do it with confidence. When I would push like if I did but then still, I remember on my first year, English was dribbling me. So I went to a public school where I wrote English. So when I get here, grammar was it was humbling me. I remember one day I was doing a presentation and people kept laughing. People were laughing. Me, on the other side, keep busy, confidence high. Yeah, continue. Even though I didn't even know what they were laughing. I get a presentation. Girl. But then still, that didn't wreck my confidence. I just said, okay, I'm going to work on my grammar and that's it. But then know what you're capable of and know that you can literally do anything you put your mind to. Doesn't matter what people they think about you. What do you think about yourself? It what actually matters a lot.
I really like that one, Carolo. I think knowing your worth is very important, because once you know that, nobody can take it away from you. I think what the society would do is try to strip down your confidence, like they'll attack it. It doesn't matter how good you're doing. They'll just find that one thing that they can just use against you. I'm sharing my story. You know what? The past years, one of the things that contributed to my the what can I say? My self-confidence going down was people commenting on my weight, because I just picked up on a lot of weight within a short period of time. So people, the first thing that they would see this big weight regarding what I was doing. Like I think 2018, I was very much active in social development. I had my own NGO going. School was also going fine. There was just a lot of things going on in my life, but people wouldn't talk about that. The first thing that they want to talk about is my weight. And it used to get to me until I got to a point where I had to love me, falling in love with that. So it didn't get to me anymore. And one of the things that it also helped to improve my confidence is manifestations, guys. Do not underestimate the power of manifestations. Saying those affirmations every morning and every night can actually help you, because whatever that you say with your tongue repeatedly, it stays and it comes to life. I mean, if I keep on saying, I'm a winner, I'm a winner, I'm a winner, even though I felt or I'm a failure, I end up believing I'm actually a winner. That's the power of the tongue. We also have comments from the comment section. The first one from Dorothy. What are your advices to the girls about self-love and always putting themselves first? How to go on by that? Yeah, advice about self-love. How do you end up loving yourself more? How do you do that? And also putting yourself first, because that's also another thing, hey, putting yourself first, especially if all the firstborn, you know the problem of putting yourself first. You always want to put everybody first, then you'll come last. So that's what Dorothy is asking. There's another one, Are. Don't you think if you fake it until you make it, you are gonna be a victim of gender-based violence? Then anyway, you know you can be so confident and yet be a victim. How do you build the know your worth thing inside of you? Like I said, for me, the affirmations actually helped me. Telling myself that I'm beautiful, I am confident. It actually helped me. And using this platform as well to build my confidence, because I know slowly I was backing away from public speaking. So this actually brings me to do that whole public speaking thing. So this platform is also helping me. So the ladies, you had the questions. How does a young girl, your advice to the young girls out there, how do they come about loving themselves more? How do you go about knowing your worth? That's the questions from the floor. Whoever wants to go first.
Okay. I have to say, for if you're being bullied, it's kind of hard, because that's where my social anxieties developed from. I was bullied quite a lot throughout high school. So we're not saying it's gonna be easy. It's a journey, and a journey is not something that you rush in. You just have to take it day by day. Don't be too hard on yourself. If today you didn't manage to do something, don't beat yourself up. Like Dave, if you take those small steps of just being gentle, you woke up, you did the dishes. It starts with the smallest things, honestly. Like you building atomic habits. Smaller things eventually just amount to you just being this confident being. Self-love is not as easy as we put it. Like it's not all glitter and gold, guys. It's actually a rough journey. So you need to be gentle with yourself while you're on there. We did speak about going on a self-awareness thing. There are gonna be days where you feel ugly, and it's okay. It's okay if you feel ugly. It's fine. There are gonna be days where you feel like you failed yourself. It's okay. But that's not a case for you to dwell in there. So you need to be able to not dwell on the dark things of life and just start appreciating the light that comes with life. Then I promise you, even the quality of your life is going to change. Just take small steps, and do not be fooled by what we post on social media. It's not our lives, guys. It's definitely not our lives. So do not be fooled. We're not all happy. We're not all self-love on any other day. Like that days, you know what? You don't want to do anything. You like, it's a sad day. Be sad in that day. But be sure to wake up the following day and then start it on a clean slate. You're going to be fine. Mina, one of the things that I tell myself is that you're going to be fine. Because either way, I have no other choice but to be fine, guys.
Okay, I think the advice to self-love, I would say people need to understand that we are different. and that what makes us special. Let's stop these things of putting pressure on ourselves, comparing our lives and our achievements with other people's achievements. That thing, it actually puts so much pressure on us. You know, the bodies that we see on social media, some of them are not even real. And then when you look at your body, you feel like, no. And another thing is that we should not, there's a certain beauty, there's a certain definition of beauty that people put for us, and we're trying to fit in that definition. Well, now, you are beautiful on your own way, and then you should understand that even if you try your best to exercise, to do all those things and all that, your body will never be exactly like the one that you saw on an Instagram. Like, we have different shapes. Some people have small breasts, some people they have bigger ones. Even if you exercise, your body is gonna go according to your shape. So you need to understand that you are different, and then that what makes you who you are, and that what makes you special. And then self-love is actually a very difficult thing, guys. It's more easier said than done. It's very hard for people to love themselves the way they are. But I think it's because we're trying to fit to a certain standard or to fit a certain definition of beauty. So let's not compare ourselves.
100%. So I want us to.
Before you exit that, ne? Guys, especially women, guys, Ukasibesa is 28 forever. It's fine. You wake up, like, it's fine, guys, honestly. You cannot be size 30 for forever. If you gain weight, it's fine. It's a woman, like, a woman's body is supposed to grow so that you can hold babies. That's literally why your body is designed the way it is designed. So if you gain weight, don't beat yourself up. Love that weight as you move. You're not going to be a size small all the time. Stop beating yourself up for who you've gained weight.
That's true. So I want us to play a little game along with our audience or listeners. I just want to say, please, guys, you're still watching or listening to Bay Waves. I'm your host, Happiness Frontal, and we are having a conversation about gender-based violence and mental health. We are done talking about gender-based violence, and we are now addressing mental health issues. So I want us to play a quick game, and I want everybody to participate in it. I also want to say thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and thank you for sharing the live airing. To those who haven't shared it yet, please make sure to share it. So this game is how do you feel when? So how do you feel when? You're just gonna tell me how you feel when I describe a certain situation. So the first one is, how do you feel when somebody asks, when are you graduating or getting a job?
Yeah. How do I feel when somebody asks me, when am I graduating? That question is depressing. I feel depressed already because it's challenging, because it's hard. I'm trying to battle with some certain modules, and you are asking me, when am I graduating? Why are you putting a pressure on me? Already school is pressurizing me. Don't depress me, please.
Please. Takato.
I feel offended because when did you and I try to each other when we asking each other such questions? You know, I deal with boundaries, guys. The moment you step my boundary, I put it right back. No, not just follow. So break.
All right, we have already established the first question that you should never ask. Don't ask anybody or graduating unless they tell you, okay, no, I'm graduating next year or in 2 years. Guys, we know the unemployment rate in South Africa. People are trying, they're really trying. I don't think there's anybody out there who's just sitting and not doing anything. So let's also avoid that thing. They are trying. And one apply. I mean,
No.
who wants to just sit and not get a job? So those questions, let's avoid them. The second one is, when are you getting married? In the order, Taro, you'll be the first one to answer always.
When God says it's time, when I find the right one.
Is this person offensive to you, or it's just okay?
It's very offensive, to be honest. It's very offensive. When am I getting married? Do you want to marry me? Unless if you want to marry me, then ask me when am I getting married. But then if you have no intentions of marrying me, please don't ask me. You know, so many people, we are going through a lot, Mjoli Kali. We are still trying to find our significant others. When you think you've already found the one, boom, red flag, and you realize, nah, this is not what I want. I try next door. So don't. It's also putting pressure on us. When are you getting married? When are you having a baby? Yo, please. When God says it's time.
Yes, Thakgatso.
I'll send you an invitation, my darling. That's how I answer it. So if you don't receive my invitation, do not ask me about that.
Well, I expressed last week, Corona, this question is very offensive, especially to women. We don't get to decide or renyalaning. I could want to get married as in like yesterday, but my partner we are not getting married anytime soon. Or whatever. So it's not on me. I get to start with. Yes. Please, our audience, make sure you also tell me how you feel in the comment section. The third one, which Tarolo, you've already touched on it. Yeah. Why don't you have kids, or when are you falling pregnant? Yeah. You know,
I think
fertility is a very sensitive topic. I don't think yes, stuff. Yes, Tarulu, you may proceed.
I think if somebody asks me that question, why are you being personal? Don't you understand that women will go through a lot? There is infertility in life. Do you consider that when you ask me when am I having a baby, or you just asking? It's a very personal question, and so many people are going through a lot. It's not like some people, others personally, they don't want to have children. Others, they're trying, but it's not working. So don't be personal.
All right, Thakgatso.
When am I getting married? Now, guys, I'll send you the quotations for daycare. The moment I do that, then we can start talking about my babies. Otherwise, my business is my business.
100%. How much do you earn? This one, personally, I don't understand it, because what are you doing in my earnings? Like, how much what do you want to do with that? Yeah.
Okay. Carole, you can speak.
Oh, okay. You know how much do you earn in it? I think if would just like about the budget, how people will be asking you certain question. What does she do with her money? Why can't she do this? Why this? Why that? Bona, how much do I earn? That's a personal question as well. They don't know how much I earn. So ole mang wena o utshisha gore how much I earn. Go nyaka mo di finances tsaka ke eng go nyoko ntlatsa go nyoko nlasa ke eng go nyoko go mpha like mmereko e leng gore o tlo earnisha more than that. Why are you asking such questions, Ben?
As much as I hate that question, but I think it's a question that we should ask in a workspace, because non-happiness, we could be doing the same thing, but not really just because happiness is a man. But I'm like 15,000, and then another day I'm short 15,000. So unless we are working the same job with the same titles, do not ask me about my finances.
All right. And the last one, how do you feel when somebody comments on your physique or weight?
This one is, I think it's the question depressed. You're actually trying to drag someone from their mental health or in a mental disorders. Like if you already, some people are battling with how they look, and you commenting on their weight, it doesn't really help them in any other way. So I'll actually say, if it's not going to uplift me, don't say it.
100%. Takatso.
I'm still finding a way of dealing with that because I've gained a lot of weight, and then I understand that people are gonna be shocked. So for now, I'm not dealing with it. I'm just taking it as it comes. Like if you're gonna say it in an authentic way, then I'm a city girl. I have boundaries. I'm just gonna put you back for crossing line. But if none of things that we cannot change, guys, if you're gonna comment on someone and what don't comment that was gonna uplift them, if they cannot change it in the next 5 minutes, it will end, please.
That's true. That's true.
It's still that.
That's something that I read on the internet some while back. When commenting about something, if they cannot, it's called the 5-minute rule or 3 minutes rule. If they cannot fix it within 5 minutes, leave it. Leave it. I also want to know from you guys, what other questions do you think they shouldn't be asked, or what comments shouldn't be made? And to our audience, please drop it down in the comment section. What questions do you think you should never ever ask a person, or comments to never say to a person? There's a comment from Koketso Maleka Are. It really gets frustrating when people add unnecessary pressure on us. Like, why are people so comfortable in making offensive and unnecessary things? We are going through a lot, Bagiti. Behave yourselves. We're going through a lot. The least you can do is buy me flowers, buy me chocolate, or send me money. And that's just it. That's you showing your love and care for me. They're just questions you shouldn't ask. Carol, do you have an addition to the list that we've already made? Questions to never ask or comments to never say?
Yeah, I have. There's a question. I think we people have normalized doing this. If you see that someone is not okay and you are not willing to help, don't ask them if they are okay. Don't ask them. And if you know after they tell you they're not okay, do not ask. Unless you are willing to listen to them and help them go through it, do not ask someone if they're okay.
That's a tricky one.
Takatso?
Okay, okay, guys, we can have the list, but you are the only person who can protect you. So set boundaries, guys. Nothing is as important as boundaries. Set boundaries. If a person is asking you a question you do not want to answer, it doesn't matter what question now and again. If it's something that you don't want to participate in, tell them you do not want to participate in that. If they keep pressing and pressing while they don't deserve to be in your space, they don't even deserve 5 seconds of your time, you cut them off. I'm a huge fan of boundaries. Guys, when only can protect their mental. No one is going to come protecting your mental health. No one is going to come to babysit your feelings. So, you know what, this is my boundary, and I'm going to reinforce it as much as I can.
Sorry, my mic was muted. Thank you for that. It's 20:43 and we are officially closing the comment section at 20:45. So please throw in your last words in there. I would like to read them on air. So now to wrap up this whole mental health conversation, I want to know from you, Tarolo, have you ever experienced a mental health condition, and are you open to talk about it?
Yeah, I think I have. There was on my second year, it was humbling me. Like cause was chowing. And I got to a point where I was trying to, when you're trying to manage all the things and you realize it's not working. I wanted to make sure that I pass all my modules, but I realized, I'm not gonna make it here. 50, 40. Test 1, it's not, it was so hard. And then I think, even though at that time I didn't realize that I was going into a depression, I think it's only now when I realized that, Nara, at that time, it seems like I was going through a certain phase of mental health. But then at that time, I didn't realize it was because I started, I didn't want to associate with anyone. I wanted to be alone. There was a point where I'll just switch my phone off. Don't laugh, because Happiness, I know you know the story. You even left me. Happiness packed her bags and left me, and I was alone because I was misbehaving. I remember sometimes, yeah, but I was doing crazy things. Yeah, I'm not, don't want to talk about the crazy things that I did, but then it was my way of dealing with it. Because was humbling me at that time. And people at home, they're busy asking me, when are you writing exams? They want the results, the pressure and all that. I think I was going through a depression that time, but I'm actually glad I was able to talk to someone and they helped me through it. And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna pass all the modules, so I'm just gonna leave the ones that I've realized already give age. Let me focus on the ones that I'm gonna pass. I will come back and repeat next year. Yeah.
Okay, so saying you talked to somebody, was it a friend or was it a professional?
No, it wasn't. It was. I was a church girl at some point, so it was a pastor at that time.
Okay. So the silly things that you're leaving out, are there things that you're not open to talk about, or you just feel like they're not appropriate for the radio?
I feel like they're not appropriate. Okay, for example, sometimes I was feeling sad for no reasons, and then there was a certain day where I went go Achi, like it's Magula. I went there and I bought a razor. I remember I was cutting myself. I think that's the day you left me because you came back. Now I was sleeping and you found the blood all over. And then when I woke up, Miguel packed her bags and then she was nowhere to be found. But then at least I wanted to be alone. So
You're sorry. I didn't leave because you're misbehaving. I don't think I left because you're misbehaving, but I also remember that situation very well. And I didn't know how to deal with it because you didn't want to talk. You didn't want to do anything. I didn't know what was wrong. And what saddened to me at that moment is because we're very, very close. But I didn't spot or I couldn't see you were going through something. I knew all there were issues, but I didn't think they were too much. So I want to know from you, Ne. Let's just say you are to give advice to my younger self. How do you think I could have dealt with that whole situation? How could I have been a supportive friend to you?
honestly, if when I'm thinking about this whole thing, I don't think there was a better way of you reaching out because I didn't want to talk, to be honest. I didn't want to say anything. It doesn't matter how many times. I remember you kept asking, are you okay? And then I would just say, yeah. But even though I wasn't, so I didn't want to talk about it. So I don't think there was any better way of you dealing with it. If somebody's not willing to reach out, they are not. And even if you try, they still won't reach out.
All right, Takatso, how best do you think you can support a friend that is going through a mental health crisis?
I think the best love you can give is just to be patient with them, because you cannot force me to talk if I don't want to talk. Sometimes as I don't want to talk. I just can't articulate my feelings. I can't even if like Tarolo cutting herself was her way of reaching out. So, but then the people around her were not patient with her enough to, you need a safe space. A person going through a mental crisis needs a safe space. A safe space is where you are patient with them. Every day. No, you just have to be patient with them until whenever you are ready. Let them know constantly, whatever you're going through, I'm here to support you. I'm here to help you. And guys, now I'm very much a person of Bona, if how are you doing? Are you okay? If you're not okay, go blab. If it's fine. At least sometimes people don't need help. They just need someone who will go at teenage. So if you look at the thing, I'm going, and then you go again, by all means, Mutogo provided you a free space to talk. By all means, at the spot. You've taken the first step at talking about it. Not to be honest, I blab about anything to anyone who's willing to listen. If when are you gonna take my business, we broadcast that's on you and it's fine. One of my business saga on the media by broadcasting sponsor university to create this sneaker. So that helps too. So if you're gonna blame my problem, you might be blaming to my angel and they're gonna come find me. So do talk, guys. Do talk. Be patient with yourselves. We are in no rush, guys. The world is a harsh place. You do not need yourself to be hard on yourself.
All right. Like Takata has said, please don't be harsh on yourself. Healing is also a very, very hectic journey. So don't be hard on yourself. Sometimes it's gonna be all nice. I'm healing. Yeah, I'm finally becoming this. But sometimes you just feel like it's the worst thing ever. So, but then don't be hard on yourself. I just want to give my guest and co-host the platform to give the closing statement regarding this whole topic or this conversation, gender-based violence and mental health. Tarolo, you can take the podium.
Okay, on the gender-based violence, I think my closing statement will be that to the victims, know that it's not your fault. It doesn't matter what you have done, what you have said to someone. It doesn't give them the right to abuse you. So it's never your fault. And then if ever you are being abused emotionally, mentally, physically, early, pack your bags and leave. Because if you wait, it's going to be hard for you to live. And another thing, before monna ha go abuser, go na le go tshepisha before wena ke tlo go betha. Next time ha tlo go tshepisha o lo go botsa. So what I can say is that if a man promises you o tlo go betha, believe him. Motshepe, motho o tlo go betha ka nnete one day. So pack your things and leave esale ka pele. And then on the mental health, I think we really need to be easy on ourselves. Already bophelo bo boima. Let's be gentle on ourselves.
100%. Before Takatwa Kafa had closing statement, I just want to make a remark on what you said, Tore. You know, don't take violent jokes. How do people even laugh at that? I personally cannot take violent jokes, and I think people taking them in is actually promoting violence. So yeah, please don't take violence as a joke. Takatso, you may give your closing statement.
Nah, girls, you've done enough, Shem. You've done enough to get gender-based violence. It's no longer up to you, Shem. It's no longer up to you. Rinaldi pepper spray, Rinaldi taser. We know when to leave. We know when to do. It's not our problem, guys. It's not us. I just want you to know wherever you are, it's not you. It's not you. Whatever, even if you think, or maybe it's because his favorite plasma. No, it's not you. It's not you. Mental health, guys, my favorite line is, before you are whoever, you are a human. And a huge part of being a human is having emotions. Whatever emotion you are feeling, please do not be hard on yourself. Please, even if there's this thing that it is small wins. I want you to know who is not a small win. Whatever win that you have is huge, because you are the one who worked hard. So don't let us know it's a small win. Celebrate your wins. If you lose, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Know it's fine. You're gonna do better next time. Just be easy on yourself.
That's true. I believe that we can end this pandemic and gender-based violence if we can come together and fight it instead of fighting each other. And I also want to give a little assignment to our viewers and listeners. Okay, let us go assignment there, identify how we can help end gender-based violence in South Africa and how we can improve mental health. How can you improve mental health for the next person? I saw this other thing on TikTok where you actually have a to-do list, or okay, at least hug a person, compliment somebody, like things that could actually make a person feel better. And while at it, don't forget yourself before anyone else Be selfish with yourself first. Love yourself. Make sure that you heal. Give yourself flowers before you can give others flowers. And the other one, practice to say no, and learn to walk away from toxic relationships. And cut off whoever who is bringing you harm or disturbing your peace, regardless of the relationship that you have. If your own mother is disturbing your peace or is causing harm to you, please do not be afraid to cut her off. And the other one is love yourself. That's the most important one. Well, we are here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is Bold Moves Radio. And don't forget to like and follow our page. Here on Facebook, we are Bold Moves Radio. Tomorrow next week, we'll be having a men's conference. So we encourage men to actually participate in that show. If you want to join the house, you can also send a request there by the comment section. And that's it from me and Bay Waves. Good night. We love you so much. Goodbye. Bye.